Yes, hello. Yeah, today I want to have a small discussion of the oppression which is being done by the government. So, welcome and listen to me. So, you guys, you know what is happening in Kenya, and you have seen how people are being oppressed, especially people who want to show dissent to the government. Uh, Today, I want to begin by referring to a man called Malcolm X. Maybe I can show his image for the purposes of people to understand him. Uh, I'm beginning with that guy, civil rights movement guy, Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, if you are not careful, you will end up hating the people who are being oppressed or the people who are being attacked, and you hate the people who are attacking them or the people who are oppressing them. So Martin Luther King said that information in the 60s during the wake of the civil rights movement. And it's something which is up to the wake up to today. Karibu sana. So today I want to discuss this so that people can understand what is happening. So I want to discuss. I want to discuss. I want to discuss the issues which are which are happening. The issues which are happening in Kenya currently. Karibu sana wale wanaingia. Today there were two main things. Some of the people who had gone to DCI offices, there is a fake report which was written that those people planned the attacks on themselves, like they had planned to kill themselves. So that was one thing. And then we also had a journalist being attacked. Maybe I can show you that.
Have you heard about Ryoko Pro? This is the cutting-edge portable Wi-Fi hotspot that people wish they found out about sooner.
And Rigathi Gachagua, Willie Lusige with that report. Caught on camera assaulting Citizen TV journalists, demanding that they delete videos they had recorded while waiting for Kiambu Senator Karungo Thang'wa and former Limuru MP Peter Mwathi to arrive at DCI headquarters in Nairobi. They were there to be questioned about an incident at a funeral where thugs disrupted the event and chased away former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Willie Lusige with that report.
This is how the situation looked just moments before the arrival of Kiambu Senator Karungo Thang'wa and former Limuru Member of Parliament Peter Mwathi, allies of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, at the DCI headquarters in Nairobi. Journalists, especially from Citizen TV, including photographer Agnes Solo and myself, were ambushed by several officers believed from the DCI. They were led by an officer who forcibly seized our cameras and demanded we delete the videos we had recorded, threatening to break the cameras if we refused. TV47 journalist William Moige also had his phone seized, only to have it returned later. The director of the DCI, Amin Mohammed, along with the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, have condemned the incident.
That was a very, very isolated incident. Overall, we have had a very, very amicable relationship with the members of the press. We shall continue training our officers in terms of their competencies in the area of interaction with the media.
Senator Thang'wa and Mwathi were questioned for the second time shortly after being questioned in Nyeri, with the DCI officers asking them to explain what they knew about the chaos witnessed the previous week when goons stormed a funeral attended by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, along with the two men causing mayhem.
We have nothing to record about. We are victims of the circumstances and the situation. The violence was directed towards us.
Both men emphasized that they were the ones who were attacked at the funeral and did not have any information about who funded the invasion.
We are not obligated to give the DCI any information. And two, we do not trust this government. We do not trust it to give it information first, then they go manipulate it.
Leaders who accompanied the senator and those held outside condemned the government, claiming it had targeted Gachagwa's allies without valid reason.
Wenye walifanya hayo mambo katika hiyo mazishi Limuru, si wanaonekana wako kwa videos. Why don't they use those videos?
The two were later allowed to leave.
If the intent is to intimidate us so that they can test our resolve, I want to commit that our resolve is extremely deep.
As the DCI officers say they are continuing with their investigation on what transpired in Limuru, allies of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, they are saying they are being subjected to questioning and interrogation while they are the ones who are affected. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, DCI.
That forms my basis of interaction today. Guys, as you can see, that was an attack on media. You can see even Karungo Thangwa and Medhu of Nyandarua, they have said that they are not going to give any information. And this is the reason why we are now saying that the government of Mr. William Ruto has become very dangerous. Because again, the media is attacked in open day, in open camera, and again, they will deny. So we are losing the tranquility of a country. We are losing the fabric that builds a country because of some of the pictures which we can see. It's so sad that our country is drifting every day. And the government is pretending that there's nothing which is happening. Then you can see that hand of, I think that is DCI guy, who is like trying to claim that that is an isolated case, to the extent that he is pretending that the police are not trained well. Do you want to tell me that police are not trained well not to attack people, and even they want to break people's cameras in the name of telling them to delete the information which they were collecting, information which is good for consumption by the public? So these are the things which we are saying that the government of Mr. William Ruto has now broken the ranks with the ordinary citizens, and they are on their own. And I think the more they continue in that trajectory, the more they bury themselves in the path of death. Why? Why would they attack the media? They could have summoned the media and told them in an amicable way, we want to watch the videos which you are correcting before you release them to the public. When has it reached a time when even the media cannot be allowed to correct some of the information which is very important for the public consumption? It shows in the future people will be abducted and no one will be concerned. It shows in the future something will happen in open camera. We have CCTVs everywhere in Nairobi and in other major cities, and maybe the government will go and start breaking those CCTVs because they want to hide the evidence. We cannot continue supporting a government which is openly committing crime. And we can see our government, the Kenyan government at the moment, they are openly committing crime. They cannot do that. They cannot be allowed. Karungo Thangwa, the senator for Kiambu, you have heard him saying clearly, at this moment, he is not obliged to give information. Hama yeye hata peana ujumbe, because he fears that the government can manipulate that information. Truth be told, the government has capacity to manipulate that information. Why? Because the Kenyan government is not adapted to accepting the truth. Their work is to manipulate even information which is open to anyone to see. It is a sad day for Kenya. It's a sad moment for Kenya, where now we have lost all the annals of democracy. We are no longer in a democracy any longer. We are in an autocratic society. It's only that we have not published it. And I think the Kenyan government should take the Kenyan Gazette and they write that Kenya has already subsided into an aristocratic society, and the government is the one who will be controlling what the people receive. So we are just trending in a treacherous moment. Kenyans, we have to rise beyond this. We have to look at how we are going to rescue ourselves before this government continue subsiding to much more worse situations than this. Truth of the matter is that our government is worsening every day. Every time when we make noise and we tell them that this thing is happening, this bad thing is happening, they don't seem to listen. You remember we had people dying in open camera during the Maandamano. We had people getting lost. Now we have journalists who are doing their job, being attacked and being forced to delete the information they have, which is illegal, by the way. You cannot force a journalist to delete the information. You cannot do that. One is criminality, and the government of Kenya should not be allowed to do that. So I would encourage citizens and other journalists or other media houses who have been put in such a situation, they need to launch a case against the government of Kenya. Even if it is not a case in Kenya, there is a community called the International Community of Journalism. You can go there, launch your case there, take Kenya there. We cannot have a country whereby information is for the chosen few. Information is only what is palatable for the government to consume. If people are not consuming lies, the government cannot accept that. Now the Kenyan government has reached a level whereby the only thing which they want people to consume is lies. That is why they have no problem when even citizen people or citizen TV journalists, they can stream an attack on them by the government officers who are trying to cajole them and forcing them to do something. And the Kenyan government does not feel anything. It's a sad moment. We can't go into that trajectory. We have to maintain our country as sacred. And any person who claims he is a fighter in Kenya, we have to fight this. We need to see now forces marshalling up, and we fight against the Kenyan government because of such a thing which has happened. If they can attack people on open camera, what about when in places whereby we don't have cameras? What about those people who are abducted and there are no cameras there? No wonder some of the people who have been lucky to get out of abduction, they are coming to explain stories which no one can believe, because the stories are extreme torture, extreme issues, and we cannot allow that. So in a nutshell, we have lost our country, and the Kenyans have to work hard to get their country back. We can get our country back. It's a matter of working hard and looking to the future. Yeah, I know right now many people are gearing towards forming coalitions and looking for people who can become presidents. It is not yet time for people to front themselves to become presidents. Right now, the time which we have is to rescue Kenya. Any person who is claiming he can become president, he has to look for a way in which he has to rescue Kenyans from the annals of Mr. William Ruto. We cannot continue in this trajectory. We cannot continue in this injustice trajectory. We have to assemble. We have to look at places within our constitution which safeguard Kenyans and which allows Kenya free media access, because I think Kenyans are allowed to have free media access. The truth of the matter is that these are signs of a government which is now subsiding to the dictatorship, to autocracy. Is only that we are pretending that we cannot see it. And any person who thinks that you will even have a moment to do campaign or even to vie for presidency, you are joking with yourself. We will reach a moment whereby even it will be illegal to assemble. It will be illegal even to ask people for votes. It will be illegal even to say anything in the public coffers, because the government will be saying any person who is speaking contrary to what the government is saying, or any person who is attacking the government deserves to be attacked. That is where we are subsiding. So I think Mr. Ruto and some of the people within his government, they are preparing a path of attacking any voices of dissent, any voices of disagreement with the government, and it is something which we have to take very keenly and very carefully. Otherwise, we are losing our nation. We are losing everything that we have built for over 60 years during our democratization process, and we cannot allow it. Ladies, brothers, and sisters, this nation was built on tranquility and agreement by people. We are Kenyans because we have agreed. We are Kenyans because 55 million people have agreed to share a border. We cannot allow our sovereignty to be withdrawn by one person. And the truth of the matter is Mr. William Ruto is withdrawing our sovereignty. Why should we allow him to withdraw our sovereignty? We have lost our sovereignty. We have lost our nation, and we have to do so searching. How are we going to rectify what has happened? It seems there's not any organ of the government which can take us to good direction. It looks like there's no any person who can connect us to proper thinking. Now, what we have to do, we have now to think of extra constitutional and extra judicial concept of rescuing Kenyans, of rescuing ourselves. Otherwise, every day we are subsiding to bad and worse issues. We cannot have a country whereby people cannot do things at free will. As a Kenyan, you are free to do what you want as long as you're not breaking the law, and the things which you are doing, they still preserve the sovereignty of Kenya. I think those journalists were not doing things against the law. The government just pretended that these people were not doing the right thing, and it is sad. We have to continue safeguarding our country. We have to continue safeguarding that country. There's no any other country we have. And the truth of the matter is that Kenya needs to be saved from Mr. William Ruto. Things are not good. Things are not okay. We might get this information or whatever is happening when it is too late. But truth of the matter is that it is not okay. It is not right. We have to fight. We have to assemble. We have to congregate. We have to plan now. Lazima tujipange. Otherwise, we risk a moment whereby we will be cajoled to oppression, and people will be thinking, like some of us will be thinking that it is still okay. It is because those people are attacking the government. The government can be attacked at any time when people feel the government is not serving them. But the government cannot attack people. But people can attack the government, because people are paying taxes to be served. So the government is not like working for free. The government has been funded to serve you. And that is why it is your constitutional right to make noise. It is your constitutional obligation to put them into safeguard when they decide to make everything not working. So Kenya, things are not working, high level of corruption, and now because they don't want Kenyans to question things, they are now resorting into attacks. How do we allow people to be attacked in the name of maybe they could be lying? We cannot allow Kenyans to be attacked. We cannot allow Kenyans to be forced into oblivion. We cannot allow Kenyans to be forced into agreement on things which they cannot even understand. We will disagree on every corruption things in Kenya. We will disagree on undone issues. We will disagree with the president when he calls us demons. We will disagree with anything which is insane in Kenya, because we are sacred people. We want to build a nation, and whatever we are doing as a people is not from vendetta. We are doing it because we love our nation. For your information, Mr. President, you are not the only patriotic man. If you are patriotic, even as a patriotic, we want to see a good country. We want to see good things in our country. So let's keep protecting our nation. We cannot allow, in capital letters, what happened to citizen journalists today, and this hog and shove of some of the politicians being taken to like 10 DCI offices, and eventually they end up not even writing a statement, and only for the government to issue a fake statement claiming that those people wanted to kill themselves. I think people can be attacked, and when everything which happens onto people who are causing dissent into the government, or people who are attacking the government, and then the government is becoming the source of misinformation or the source of false witness, is very alarming. So the government has to be accountable. Even on issues which are not good to them, the government has to report the truth. The government cannot be the organ which is promoting misinformation. That is trending on dangerous trenches. We cannot allow Kenyan government to be the engineer of misinformation. Frankly speaking, Kenyan government has become a platform of misinformation. They are the ones who know how to lie. People get abducted. They don't say where they are. They don't say who did it. Things like that. These days they are confusing between arrest and abduction, and we are keeping quiet. We are silent. Suddenly, somehow, we will have to assemble and resist all this with a strong force. We will have to assemble and push against what the government is doing. We cannot allow them to continue attacking sacred people. People are just trying to kutafuta mukate. People are just going on with their regular activities of the day. Mtu anafanya ile kazi ambayo inampea mkate wa kila siku. Then the government is even stopping that person to do that work. Yet the government wants that person to pay taxes. They want that person to be accountable. How is it? And the government is blocking people from doing. In fact, many of the problems which are in Kenya, they have been engineered by this government. How will people even be productive when they fear for themselves, when they fear for their life, when they fear that bad things could happen to them. There's no that harmonious environment where people can work with tranquility and believing that I am serving a government which is serving me. People are serving their government because it's as an obligation. They're not serving the government because they feel they need to serve it. The Kenyan government has to make sure that people are free, people feel comfortable, people don't feel threatened when they are working to it. And it is normal to be criticized. It is normal to be cajoled. And Kenyan government has to get used to that. Kenyan government has to get used to being criticized, because without criticism, they cannot change. Governments of the world get criticized because governments are usually more wrong than right. So it's not that Kenyans are idiots. They don't know what is good and what is right. So let's protect Kenyans. Sari Kenya juu karibu sana. Let's protect Kenyans. Let's allow Kenyans do the right thing. But we should not attack Kenyans. And when Kenyans get problems, some people are saying that those people abducted themselves or those people wanted to kill themselves. That is irrelevant information. So Sari Kenya juu asante sana, karibu sana, keep subscribing my channel. So what I mean is that we have to grow our nation, but we cannot grow our nation in the trajectory of Mr. William Ruto. Mr. William Ruto trajectory is so fake. We cannot continue on that trajectory where people feel threatened. They cannot grow a nation. No. First of all, we need to feel comfortable. Lazima nikuwe na hiyo kitu nikuwe huru. I can be in Uhuru Park, I cannot be attacked. I can be in CBD, I cannot be attacked. Remember how these things started. They began with that woman from, I don't know if it was NHIF or where, that woman who was shot by a sniper from the roof. That is where all these problems of Ruto government started. Then we ignored that woman who was shot from the roof. Maybe we thought that it was a mistaken identity. Maybe it was a stray bullet. Then from there, we have now seen people dying one after the other one. We cannot allow Kenyans to die. Kenyans are sacred. We have to grow our population. We cannot kill people already who we have given birth to. So I'm very disturbed by what is happening in our nation. I'm very disturbed by how people cannot be able to go to do their daily activities because they fear being attacked. Now, like those citizen people and other journalists, why should they be attacked when they are doing their day-to-day activity? Wakati mtu anatafuta unga, why should you attack this? These people are taxpayers, Bwana Ruto. So you actually the person ambaye anarudisha nchi yetu nyuma. Kama hutaki kodi, ambia wa Kenya, you don't hutaki kodi. Just tell Kenyans you don't feel you need tax. So if you don't need tax, it's okay. We will allow you to stay the way you want. You don't want people to work. Or everything which we do, including even in social media, you have come and inspect what we are saying here because you are too much egocentric and you fear what people are saying. That's why now your guys have even to attack citizen people with the extent of even wanting to break their cameras. That is too low for a government. That is too low for a government. So anyway, that was my discussion which I wanted to put this morning. I do not. We will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow I will try to come a little bit earlier. Tomorrow by 9 p.m. I will be here. So I want us to discuss the happenings of the nation that time. So if there is any person who will come, you can watch the happenings of this video, and I hope you will enjoy it. And those who have not subscribed to our channel, again, it is Njiro Mwaura or at Njiro Mwaura Talk Room. And shalom. Let's meet tomorrow. Asanteni sana. Thank you and bye.